All right, so we are back, and 3 seconds in, I'm already cursing because today I feel like the fucking Grim Reaper because I have to bring you guys the news that yet another boxing legend will probably end his career by fighting Logan Paul. If you guys didn't know, and I don't know how you couldn't because most of you guys were hitting me up in my DMs like I was your late night booty call and you were on the way. First off, I'm no one's booty call, all right? I'm relationship material only. But secondly, yes, of course, I'm talking about Mike Tyson and Logan Paul. This fight is alleged, okay? And I can't stress this enough. It is a reported fight, maybe a fight, potentially a fight, possibly a fight that is going down on February of 2022. I don't know if this thing's actually happening, but again, it is being reported by the same people that reported Tommy and Jake going down December 18th. So as much as I don't like that Logan Paul walks into the metaphorical geriatric legendary boxer nursing home, picks a bingo number out of the spinner and says, Mike Tyson this week, we got to talk about it. But before we do, guys, we are having another W.A.D.E concept watch party, but this time we're over on Twitch, twitch.tv/the W.A.D.E concept, and this one is an extra special one because we have a Halloween costume contest, and the winner of this contest gets their choice of a pay-per-view paid for by yours truly, UFC 268 or Canelo versus Caleb Plant. Now, to be eligible for this contest, you need to be following me on Twitch, and you need to be in my Discord. Links will be in the description as well as the rules for this contest. Check all that out down below. Thank you guys for supporting me. Bring your best because you already know I'm bringing mine, and there's a pay-per-view on the line. All right, so let's talk about this. Mike Tyson, Logan Paul. The words that are coming out of my mouth, I can't even fully fucking understand. But allegedly, this boxing match has the potential to go down early next year. Is this thing real? And if so, what the hell happens in this fight? The breakdown. Let's go. All right, so like I said, this was reported by the same company or the same news outlet that reported that Jake and Tommy Fury are going to be fighting on December 18th, which has still not been confirmed by either camp yet. Jake's team even going so far as to say, don't believe the media, which in my opinion means something got leaked and the date wasn't ready or the location's not finalized, but they're getting close to that deal, and they didn't want that coming out of anybody's mouth until everything was final, which is understandable. But again, in this case, this news outlet is saying that Mike Tyson is ready for a comeback fight in February 2022. He's quoted as saying, I am going to have a return fight in February, and we are pretty skeptical about the opponent, but it will be a really stimulating opponent. So when he says the opponent is stimulating, I'm assuming he means that it's an exciting thing for us, the fans. The opponent that they have in mind will be an exciting watch for us fans. Not that the opponent will be stimulating anyone or having any kind of stimulation other than being punched in the face. And another thing that's kind of just weird in that quote that Mike says, and that maybe is just him trying to keep a lid on things and not say too much yet, but he says, we are pretty skeptical about the opponent. I'm assuming by that he means he's pretty skeptical that the opponent who they have in mind will actually take the fight, or maybe he means he's pretty skeptical that he even has an opponent, but I don't know why he would say he has a return fight if he has no opponent yet. I mean, they do have 4 or 5 months if they didn't have an opponent to get one. And the things that we know about Logan is he likes to take those long camps. Logan took 8 months to get in camp for Floyd Mayweather. So a 4 or 5 month camp would be kind of similar to what he already went through for the Floyd fight. And that's kind of the only connection that we really have between Logan and Mike. So when reports like this come out, this is an op-ed. This is not a report of a factual fight. This is a rumor and sources that are unnamed without any real details on this thing actually happening. I'm not trying to shit all over it for you guys. I just don't want to tell you this fight's going down in February when Tyson hasn't even mentioned Logan Paul's name. Logan hasn't mentioned being in a fight or getting in camp to fight for Tyson. And in fact, you have people like Tony Jeffries who talked to Logan's head coach, and Milton said this fight isn't happening. And maybe it's just my bias that I just don't want to see this because I'm having a hard time accepting these kind of influencer boxing matches. And I understand what you guys are going to say.
If they want to do it, they're grown men, they should be able to do it.
I don't like seeing 50-plus-year-old boxers go in there when they're not even half the person, half the boxer, half the mental capability that they had at half their age. Go in there with a guy that is half his age and Logan Paul, who's 26, and risk his legitimacy and his legacy, all for Logan Paul to rip that shit away from him, throw it on his Impulsive podcast, and talk about how he's the greatest fucking boxer in the world. And I get it. You guys look at Mike and you see him hitting pads with Rafael Cordero, and you're like, oh, that's Mike Tyson in his prime. No, it's not. Based off an interview he gave in this same article where he was talking about a statue being unveiled, and it was of him fighting 20 years ago And he goes, oh, I don't even remember that fight. Most of my boxing career, it's pretty much a blur. That guy should still be fighting? No. And that's what makes me nervous. I'm not faulting Logan, by the way, for going and doing this. If I had the opportunity to step in with Floyd and Mike and do whatever it is that they possibly, allegedly are going to do in February, then sure, I would do the same thing too, especially if I had the ability to sell like those guys. So I'm not faulting them, but it's just watching them try to regain those glory years when they're clearly not there, when you shouldn't probably be boxing anymore. I mean, we watched Evander Holyfield against Vitor Belfort, and that was not a fight that would have been competitive at all 20 years ago. But regardless of what I think, if this is real, and again, there is no confirmation from Logan, from Mike, from anybody that these two are the guys that are going to be fighting in February. All we really know is that Mike Tyson says he's got a fight in February that's supposed to be super stimulating. Again, I don't want any part of the stimulation, but I guess I will be watching whatever fight he's in. I'm just hoping that Logan's not a part of it, and that Logan shouldn't be robbing the fucking boxing nursing homes for his next potential opponents. He has 0 wins, but he has drawing power, and as Logan himself has shown, if you can draw, nothing else fucking matters. So I say, let's just hold our horses. If it gets announced, then fuck it, all right? That's just where we're at in 2021, and there's no stopping the Paul circus, okay? There's just not. You just hope that Mike doesn't go in there and have this terrible showing that the newer generation of boxing fans that don't know what he did in the 90s look at and be like, that's the guy, the baddest man on the planet, Mike Tyson, that's the dude. And by the way, guys, if this fight does happen, it will be one of those exhibitions because, one, no fucking commission except maybe Florida will sanction this, and I just don't really like that exhibition shit because it doesn't matter, man. If we go in there and someone gets knocked down or out, everyone is gonna see that shit. It doesn't matter who wins or loses on the card. The visual that you get from one of those things happening and the internet just memeing it into oblivion will be the lasting effect. The same thing happened with Floyd. The fact that Logan survived and was able to land some good shots in that fight are what live on from that fight. Not that Floyd outclassed him and did all, no. People don't talk about Floyd in that fight. They talk about Logan surviving and being there. If something goes wrong, Mike won't be remembered well for doing it in the first place. And that's just one of the many problems I have with that kind of shit. But anyway, as we leave off, man, the questions are pretty simple. Is this fight real? Let me know what you think. And the biggest question, oh, I don't even want to ask this one. If this fight goes down, if it's real, Mike Tyson versus Logan Paul, who wins? I don't have the answers. I don't want the answers. But if this thing is real in February, guess we'll find out.